Imagine for a moment that you're standing at the edge of a cliff, staring down into what feels like the darkest chapter of your life. Maybe you've just lost your job, ended a relationship, or received devastating news about your health. In that moment, you have two choices: crumble under the weight of adversity, or discover a strength within yourself that you never knew existed. Today, I'm going to reveal the scientific secrets behind resilience and show you exactly how some people not only survive life's hardest punches, but actually emerge stronger, wiser, and more successful than ever before. But first, let me tell you about Sarah, a single mother of two who lost everything in 2008. Her house was foreclosed, her savings wiped out, and she found herself living in her car with her children. Fast forward 7 years, and Sarah owns a thriving business empire worth millions. What happened in those 7 years wasn't magic. It was resilience in action. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how she and countless others have transformed their darkest moments into their greatest triumphs. The truth is, resilience isn't some mystical quality that only a lucky few possess. It's a skill, a muscle that can be developed and strengthened through specific practices and mindsets. And here's what's fascinating. Neuroscientists have discovered that our brains are literally rewired when we build resilience, creating new neural pathways that help us navigate future challenges with greater ease and confidence. Think about the most resilient person you know. What sets them apart isn't that they never face difficulties. In fact, it's often the opposite. They've learned to dance with adversity rather than fight against it, and this fundamental shift in perspective changes everything. Research from the University of Pennsylvania shows that resilient individuals share specific thinking patterns and behaviors that can be learned by anyone willing to put in the work. The first pillar of resilience is what psychologists call cognitive flexibility. This is your ability to reframe situations and find alternative perspectives when faced with setbacks. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" resilient people ask, "What can I learn from this?" or "How might this redirect me towards something better?" This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending everything is fine. It's about training your mind to look for possibilities within problems. Let me share a powerful technique called the 3 questions method. When you encounter any setback, immediately ask yourself, "What can I control in this situation? What can I learn from this experience? What opportunity might be hidden within this challenge?" These questions literally rewire your brain to seek solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Sarah used this exact method when she lost her house, asking herself what skills she could develop while living in her car that might serve her future self. The second pillar is emotional regulation, which is your ability to manage intense feelings without being overwhelmed by them. Resilient people don't suppress their emotions, but they also don't let emotions drive their decisions. They've learned to feel their feelings fully while maintaining the capacity to think clearly and act strategically. This is where many people get stuck, believing that feeling angry, sad, or afraid means something is wrong with them. Here's a game-changing insight. Emotions are data, not directives. When you feel fear, it's information about a perceived threat. When you feel anger, it's information about a boundary that's been crossed. When you feel sadness, it's information about something you've lost or are grieving. Resilient people have learned to read these emotional signals without being controlled by them, using techniques like the STOP method. Stop what you're doing, take a breath, observe what you're feeling, and proceed with intention. The third pillar is social connection, and this might surprise you. Resilience isn't built in isolation. The strongest, most adaptable people actively cultivate relationships that provide support, perspective, and accountability. They understand that vulnerability isn't weakness but strength, and they're willing to ask for help when they need it. Studies consistently show that people with strong social networks recover from setbacks faster and experience less psychological distress during difficult periods. But here's where it gets interesting. Resilient people don't just receive support, they actively give it. They understand that helping others through their challenges actually strengthens their own resilience muscles. It's like going to the gym for your emotional and psychological well-being. When Sarah was living in her car, she volunteered at a local shelter, helping other families in crisis. This not only provided her with perspective, but connected her with a network that eventually helped her get back on her feet. The fourth pillar is purpose-driven thinking. Resilient individuals have a clear sense of why they're pushing through difficulties. They're connected to something larger than their immediate comfort or convenience. This doesn't mean you need to have your entire life figured out, but it does mean having some sense of what matters to you and what you're working toward. Purpose acts like a North Star during storms, giving you direction when everything else feels chaotic. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, observed that people who survived the concentration camps weren't necessarily the physically strongest, but those who maintained a sense of meaning and purpose. He wrote that everything can be taken from a person except one thing: the freedom to choose one's attitude in any given circumstances. This insight has been validated by decades of psychological research showing that people with a strong sense of purpose recover from trauma more quickly and completely. Now, let's talk about something crucial that most people miss. Resilience requires rest and recovery. Our culture often glorifies the grind, but true resilience includes knowing when to push forward and when to step back and recharge. Think of resilience like athletic training. Athletes don't train at maximum intensity every single day because that leads to injury and burnout. They cycle between periods of stress and recovery, gradually building their capacity over time. This means building practices into your life that restore your energy and perspective. Maybe it's meditation, exercise, time in nature, creative pursuits, or simply quality time with people you care about. These aren't luxuries or signs of weakness. They're essential components of a resilience-building strategy. Sarah made sure to carve out time each day for journaling and walking, even when she was living in her car, because she understood that maintaining her mental and emotional health was crucial for her long-term success. Here's something that will change how you think about setbacks forever: post-traumatic growth. This is the scientifically documented phenomenon where people don't just bounce back from adversity, they actually emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. Researchers have identified specific areas where this growth occurs: deeper relationships, greater appreciation for life, increased personal strength, enhanced spiritual development, and new possibilities and opportunities. The key to experiencing post-traumatic growth is actively engaging with your challenges rather than simply enduring them. This means reflecting on what you're learning, how you're changing, and what new strengths you're developing. It means seeking meaning within your struggles and remaining open to how they might be shaping you into a stronger version of yourself. But let's get practical. How do you actually build these resilience muscles in your daily life? Start with small challenges. Don't wait for major life crises to begin developing your resilience. Practice with minor setbacks, disappointments, and frustrations. Use these everyday moments as training grounds for the bigger challenges that will inevitably come. Create what I call a resilience toolkit. This includes specific strategies you can deploy when facing difficulties, breathing techniques for emotional regulation, questions for cognitive reframing, people you can call for support, activities that restore your energy, and reminders of your core values and purpose. Having these tools prepared in advance means you won't have to figure out what to do in the middle of a crisis. Remember Sarah from the beginning of this video? 7 years after losing everything, she didn't just rebuild her life, she created something entirely new. She started a consulting business helping other people navigate financial crises, using her own experience as her greatest asset. Her adversity became her expertise, her pain became her purpose, and her resilience became her superpower. The most resilient people understand that adversity isn't the opposite of success, it's often the pathway to it. Every setback contains seeds of comeback, every breakdown can lead to a breakthrough, and every ending creates space for a new beginning. The question isn't whether you'll face challenges in life, because you absolutely will. The question is whether you'll be ready to transform those challenges into your greatest strengths. So start today. Choose one small way to strengthen your resilience muscle. Practice reframing a current frustration. Reach out to someone in your support network or simply spend a few minutes reflecting on what you're learning from a recent setback. Your future self will thank you for building these skills now, before you desperately need them. Because here's the ultimate truth about resilience: it's not about avoiding the storms of life, it's about learning to dance in the rain. And when you master that dance, you don't just survive adversity, you thrive because of it. Thank you for joining us today on this journey to build resilience. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content on mental health and personal growth. And make sure to hit the bell icon so you're notified whenever we upload a new video. Let's continue to support each other on this path to better mental well-being.